What lessons did you learn from Samurai that you then carried over into your next production?
Well, permanent collection was a little bit more complicated, but I did have a lot more confidence in the AFM Safecoat paints. So I did, and I used a lot more paint in that show. If you get a chance to see the production photos, you'll see all of the floor was treated with Safecoat paint, and it was painted on scrap wood, scrap MDF from the Playhouse that was destined for the trash, so at least it got another life out of it. I also used steel framed walls, which were then recycled. I would say that the only item in the entire show was really some small amount of fabric that was, literally too small to use again, was thrown away, but a lot of that fabric was harvested and will be used for another show. Really the confidence in the paints, and also, just the whole green mindset, really thinking ahead, what am I going to do with this stuff when I'm done? What's its destiny?
David, what do you think was the biggest success about going green in these productions?
I would say the biggest success overall is we were able to be green and have the production be beautiful. In my opinion, I thought that both of the sets turned out really well, and there was really no sacrifice made. We were able to do this. We were able to do this show and not have a detrimental effect on the environment. That's a huge success.
Seema, can you tell us how you promoted going green?
First thing we did was we wrote a press release, and we submitted that to our usual suspects, the local media, but then we also made a decision to submit it to the Society of Environmental Journalists. There's an association of environmental journalists, and we just sent it out there, and that got a number of bites. We started getting calls from writers all across the country who are really curious about green theater and what does that mean. We were contacted first by Inside Arts magazine, and they did a little story about us, and then we got contacted by Mike Lawler, who was writing an article for American Theater magazine, which never made it to print. I'm very saddened by that. But Mike Lawler runs this incredible blog called ecotheater.com, and he's a man who is very passionate about creating sustainable theater, and there's a tremendous amount of information on his website. I encourage everybody to go to ecotheater.com. And then, lo and behold, we got contacted by DramaBiz, which was very exciting for us, and to be in that article in the April issue of this year. And so just by putting our green guidelines on the website and sending the press release out to the usual suspects and the Society of Environmental Journalists, it made a tremendous impact. And then we started putting green messages on our promotional materials. These are, our postcards that promote the show, and right on the back we have a little bit of information here, greening mo olelo, where we say, show the box office proof of carpooling or traveling green to the theater, and we'll email you the coupon. So that was one message we used. And then in our playbills, in this one, greening mo olelo, as part of Mo Olelo's greening initiative, this playbill is printed on FSC certified paper, and then it explains what FSC is, Forest Stewardship Council.
What were the results of these promotions?
I think we were really excited by all of the results that we got. At the industry level, it was surprising to me how many calls we got from other theater companies across the country, or graduate students in theater programs, not just across the country, across the world. There was a student in London who contacted us wanting to know about how they can start to go green in their own companies, or the graduate students were interested in how to continue researching sustainability and theater. That was really exciting because it got me thinking that this new generation of students that are graduating with MFAs, they've made this a priority. It's the priority of their generation at this point, is to look at sustainable choices, and it leads me to believe that we are standing on the cusp of a shift, a transformation in how we do create theater. So the industry response has been positive and exciting. The media response was also exciting. Just to get phone calls from media across the country was very, very exciting for us. And then the audience response has been particularly gratifying. Audiences, I think all of us, we want to do the right thing, and if we can make it easier for people to make green choices, they get happy about that. And so if we can say, hey, guess what, you're supporting a theater company that's using environmentally safe paints and cleaning products, that strives to make sure that our sets are either made from recycled material or will be recycled on the exit or will be donated to a good cause, I think that makes people feel really, really good.
Seema, can you share with us some of the green products you use at Mo'olelo?
Yes, we have a lot of green products here in the office. This is my favorite product to be using, and it's AFM Safe Coat paint. It's non-toxic, environmentally friendly paint, and everybody should be using this stuff on their sets. Because the truth of the matter is, the regular paint that we use is really bad for our audiences to be breathing, and for the folks who are doing your painting, it's bad for them as well. So I highly recommend that. And then other supplies, we use envelopes that are made out of recycled content. This one is 100% post-consumer waste recycled content. This as well, these are 6x9 envelopes that are also 100% recycled, 40% post-consumer waste. But this is a good product. And then just even things like the notebooks that we use. I get all this stuff off of greenlinepaper.com, and they, on their website, have a lot of good information about how to make greener choices. What is post-consumer waste? What does that mean? And I think that's just good information for folks to have. So it runs the gamut from office supplies to event supplies, cups, napkins, plates that you need to use in your concession stands. Those are also plant-based, plant starch-based, which is more fully biodegradable, and all sorts of good information on that website.
Well, Seema, this has been great. Any final thoughts?
One final thought. We're all very green at being green, so just give it your best shot.
Thank you, Seema. Well, we want to thank Seema and David for sharing their green experience with us. If you want more information on going green, please go to our website at www.dramabiz.com. Until next time, thank you for letting DramaBiz give you the business. Of theater, that is.